Hello and welcome to Hops and Bros. This week,
Hi, caramba! We're New Mexican hops, or something like that.
is it from New Mexico?
Yeah, it's from New Mexico.
Okay, that's fair.
Not really, but it's gonna be clearer in the video.
For an open window on a crappy world, Max and Chris from Ups and Brews. Ups and Brews. Welcome to Ups and Brews.
Alright, so this week we're taking a look at the Sabro hop, a brand new hop variety that is destined to replace Galaxy, Citra, Mosaic, and all those awesome hops that we've been using for the last 5 years.
And the reason why, it's not because it smells like a brand new car. Right?
I feel like plastic would be a horrible aroma to have.
Or like, you know the black ice one, the dark trees? That would be horrible too. Don't dry up your beer with little trees that you hang in your cars, please. Don't.
See, this is something that's been recurring on this show where you say something, you explain it, and then I know exactly what it is. I know the word until you start explaining what it is, and then boom, I immediately forget.
Car fresheners.
Yeah, those car fresheners. Yeah, anyways. What's Sabro hops?
So, I spoke a little bit in the intro about links to New Mexico origins from this hop, and the reason why is because it's mainly rooted from the New Mexico mountains. Over there, for over a million of years, a different kind of hops was growing, and the specific name for it is Neo-Mexicanus. So you have the Humulus lupulus variety Neo-Mexicanus. This is a completely different kind of hop, and it's been on our continent forever. Then we go more further into the future, where we are right now. Company called, I got the right name right here. Where is it? Hop breeding company out there in Yakima Valleys. I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, Max, they're kind of like associated with YCH and another hop farmer market thing over there. Not sure.
Yeah, so I guess with the popularity of new breeds of hops, some companies have started popping up, and that is one of them. They develop new hops, basically.
Exactly.
It's kind of a cool concept, if you ask me.
And the reason why you should be stoked is that HBC is actually the team behind Mosaic and... is it Citra? Where is it? God damn it. Yeah, Citra. So, the Sabro hop started as HBC 438 in 2015 at a brewing conference. And Max, can you guess what's the name that it was actually given to this hop at this conference?
It's probably HBC 334, a random number like that.
No.
How close am I?
Run Mexico.
Oh, really? That was the name they had for it?
Yeah, it was kind of like the cute name they gave it, but if you want the real number, it's HBC 438. You were close.
438. I was close. I was close.
You were very close. Scary.
For a shot in the dark there. Like, that was really close.
Very close. But what really stand out from this hop, Max, it's the flavors and the aromas. So, how can you play? Oh, I totally forgot to put my audio on, so you're gonna use the other mic. Good job, Chris. Damn, I'm so tired. Sorry, Max. Go on with
the new baby,
your part.
man.
Oh, yeah, I know.
How has that been keeping you awake at night?
Well, I don't know. I just started the audio. It's not even worth it, so I'm just gonna stop it. Oh my god, I need a beer now, or maybe just sleep. Back to Sabro hop. It's a very pungent hop. How would you use it in your brewing experience, Max?
I read a little bit on it. It seems to be very tropical in nature, so I'd probably use it as an aroma, but there's been a change in the industry. Like initially, people were creating both aroma and dual purpose hops, so aroma and bittering, and they would label them as such. Nowadays, that the industry is kind of booming, farmers and reps for those various companies kind of figured that they sell it as only aroma, they're going to make a little more money off it because they can start selling it for a little more because technically it's you use less of it because it's not your bittering hop necessarily. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think Citra is a dual-purpose hop, or at least if you follow the old nomenclature of hops, because it is high in alpha acid, so you could technically, theoretically, use it for bittering. Amarillo, I believe, is also in there. But anyways,
Yeah, Amarillo's in there.
I would use it. Yeah, I think so. I feel like I've seen it on a hop list a couple of weeks ago. Anyways, all that to say that the Sabro, with the description, the tropical, the stone fruit, the citrus, seems to me like it would be a great aromatic hop, a great hop to replace both the Citra and the Mosaic in one foul sweep. Is it going to happen? Probably not until a few years still. The way it works with hops is it takes about 8 years to develop a new hop. From creating that hop to many, many stages of testing. So and it naturally takes a year for those to grow. So you kind of have to, okay, you test the first year, it's still good to go to the next year, go to the next test, see if it stands to the rigorous weather or whatever conditions, and then is it still aromatic, is it still consistent? A lot of stuff has to go through before a hop is made into a new variety, or at least a new public variety.
Yeah.
I had not heard of the Sabro. It kind of is shocking considering that I'm literally in the industry, but it's the kind of thing where hops move sometimes so fast that it's hard to keep up. And not only that, but because it takes 8 years for a hop to go from the first stage to being viable, you got to convince farmers to replace their fields. Existing farmers in Yakima to go, hey, maybe we won't sell as much Citra this year, maybe we're going to sell more of the Sabro. It happened I want to say a year ago with Nelson Sauvin, where the demand came so high, contracts are all filled, and then farmers in New Zealand ripped him out and put something else in, meaning that even for homebrewers, it's hard to find Nelson Sauvin now. And if you're not on one of those contracts, you might not even find it. So it's kind of weird to go, all right, I'm gonna make this beer, this brand of beer with this very special hop, Sabro, and then realize in a couple of years that either it wasn't the hype that it was supposed to be, or it's such a big hype that you can't get it anymore, and now you have to replace it with something else. As brewers, we play around with ingredients, and when we have a killer recipe, it's hard to go, oh, I've got to change it now? Why do I have to change it? What do I have to change in it? And is it going to be the same beer or not? Probably not.
Yeah, because it always has a different spec, a different way to react with not acids but oils in there. Just a quick note on this. Sabro hop is clocking between 12 to 16% in acid alphas, and on the beta acids, it's 4 to 7%. So you were right about the fact that you can definitely use it as an aroma hop, but also like those acids represent a fair enough amount
of bittering. Yeah.
Exactly.
But even like in recipe building, it's interesting. So recently I've done my project brew. I've brewed it. It's a Gazette, and I've used Hallertau Blanc for bittering. The reason I went with Hallertau is because it was the only substitute to Nelson Sauvin, which I based my whole recipe on Nelson Sauvin, and last minute I realized I can't get it. So I switched to Hallertau Blanc. Hallertau Blanc is not necessarily the greatest bittering, but the cohumulone is at a good level where it's not going to be a harsh bitterness. It should be very, very mellow, which is what I was looking for. Would I spend that money on a bittering hop if it wasn't for the fact that I'm in school right now and it's fun to play around? No. If I had to large scale it, I would go for the highest alpha acids that suits the beer, and that would be my bittering. And anything else, any fancy hops, any Citra, Mosaic, Galaxy, Amarillo, I wouldn't put until the fucking whirlpool. I'd make sure that it's that hop shines the most in that beer. I wouldn't use it for bittering because it'd be a waste of money at that point. So that's another thing to consider when you're building a new beer with new hops. It's fun to make a smash. It's fun to make hey, it's 100% this one hop we've put in, but it might be a waste. You know?
Exactly.
yeah, there are some differences in bitterness for sure, but the general public doesn't see that. They'll feel the different fruity flavors, but they're not necessarily going to see the variances in the bitterness.
Yeah. And in my opinion, Sabro hop, I've tried one beer so far, not impressed as I was impressed with Mosaic. So I think that
Well,
Kings aren't dead.
yeah.
There's a little rock star out there. Will it shine? Just the time will tell us on that, I
And
think.
not to make the video go longer, but I think you've hit the hammer on the nail. First off, I'm a huge fan of Mosaic. It's one of my favorite hops out there. I think that when it came out, it was in the same family as Citra, as Amarillo, as Zacca, one of those USDA-approved hops and very controlled. But it was different in flavors. It was a little more distinctive than the rest that we've had. But nowadays, every new hop is trying to be one of those hops. So you get a lot of hops that are pretty much the same, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, I guess, more variances in something that's already good, but it's not as wow factor as it used to be.
100% agreed with that, Max. We'll see where Sabro gets. But I think it's cool that it has roots here in North America. That's my end point on that.
Yeah, which is very rare for hops. Generally, most of the hops that we use have ancestors in Europe, because as soon as they started brewing beer here, they brought varieties they knew how to work with, and it's just the terroir, the weather, the soil, the sun exposure that changed and morphed those hops into what we have in North America now. And with grapes, wow. With hops like Hallertau Blanc, which is 100% European, but they've pushed more of the fruity notes on it. And we see that taste really dictates what kind of hops are being developed and what kind of hops are going to be put into the market. Yeah. I gotta talk for hops for hours, but we don't have hours. We've got between 9 and 12 minutes. So if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Cheers. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Bye.